Hello and welcome again to the Writer Review. This is Eric Carrot Writer. Actually, this is This is Flint Lockwood back here again with us with the sequel to Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, titled Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs Part 2. Yes, you could tell that once again, here I am back again, dressed as Flint Lockwood, and I got this cool T-shirt here. Science is fun. Yes. All right. This is, of course, the sequel to Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Its original title was based on the children's novel, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and Pickled to Pittsburgh, which was originally written by Judy and Ron Barnett. And of course, I can't do a movie review of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs without me consuming food. I got burgers, I got fries, I got a soft drink, and I'm ready to go to town. This is an animated family sci-fi comedy, and the runtime is 1 hour and 35 minutes long. And it's directed by Cody Cameron and Kris Pearn. Alright, the script was written by Erica Rivinola, John Francis Daly, and Jonathan Goldstein. And it is based off of the story by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who originally directed the original 2009 version. Of course, this is the sequel, so this was done in 2013. And Erica Rivinola also contributes to the story. Alright, it is composed by Mark Mothersbaugh. It was edited by Robert Fisher Jr. And the stars of the movie are featuring the voices of Bill Hader, he's back again, Anna Faris. We got Bridget Hoffman, Will Forte, James Caan, he's back again as his father Tim, Andy Samberg, he's back as the uh-oh boy. I forget what his character's name was. We have Neil Patrick Harris, Benjamin Bratt, Terry Crews, Kristen, Schaal, Cody Cameron, Khamani Griffin, Al Roker, Melisa Sturm, Kris Pearn, and Craig Kellman. Alright, so in 2009, Sony Pictures released Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, a film that had scored high points in terms of originality and creativity, and demonstrates that the sky is the limit in terms of our imagination. Sure, it was loosely based off of an old kid's novel, of an old kid's story, brought to life in 3D animation. I believe it was Sony that did it. Clever job, good job. If you've never read the book, at least you've seen the movie. This is original. It's about the sky raining, not water, but food. It started with burgers, but then quickly became all kinds of other good stuff. And I mean good stuff. Not stuff that kids should eat but want to eat. Like burgers. Ice cream. They had cyclones with spaghetti. Meatballs. And then all of a sudden, the whole small town that was specialized in sardines, well, now they have a wide variety of good foods to eat. And I don't mean your salads and asparaguses and celery. No, none of that. Don't feed me any of that shit. I want burgers. I want pizza. I want gyros. I want all that greasy shit that we that we all love to indulge in every once in a while. No, no, no. Oh my goodness, this burger is falling apart on me. That's why when I do this movie review, I'm eating this. Anyways, once again, based off of the classic children's novel by Judy and Ron Barrett, the visuals in that movie was taken at a highly professional level, while at the same time the action was over the top, spontaneous, and also being very clever in all the essential areas of filmmaking. With a world centered around the aftermath of a food apocalypse and the townspeople going to great lengths to clean up the town because it's been littered with leftovers. They don't know where to put it in. They try to put it in a volcano, but it just explodes to epic proportions. This opens the floodgates for a new conflict that our hero, Flint Lockwood, voiced by Bill Hader, had to encounter. Directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller may have created a world filled with action, adventure, comedy that had something to offer for both kids to enjoy and adults to also look into that will not insult their intelligence. Thank goodness for that. I'll eat for that. So comes 2013. The sequel to Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs was released, and it still captures a lot of the imagination, even though now we have different directors taking over. But still, the magic is gone in some areas, but I guess that's kind of what you would expect in a sequel. But it's still satisfying to watch. There's a lot to enjoy. And there's a lot of food that will make you savor the goodness of life. To the good life. There's still plenty of entertainment for everyone to see. However, the screenwriting is a bit of a red herring, and the humor has been lowered compared to the first installment. It kind of was just dumbed down a little bit, a little more saccharine, and more kid friendly. But there's still plenty to love about this sequel, and I'm sure kids and parents will definitely have a fun time watching this second installment. So, after the food making machine, which I am not going to try to pronounce because even they had a hard time pronouncing it, which turned Swallow Falls into an edible disaster, the town is ready to move forward and clean this mess up. So, with the help of Live Corp, led by CEO Chester V, voiced by Will Forte, he hires the aspiring inventor Flynn Lockwood to work for his company. We later realize that it's not for good intention. Chester, who's the main villain in this story, informs Flint that he needs to go back to his island residence to look into his food processing device and to shut it down. And his purpose is that the reason why is because the machine has created food-themed monsters that are running amok all over town. And this is where the creative genius comes in. We have something called the taco dials, Hippotatomus. We have some kind of a burger with fries for spider leg type of thing. You know, all kinds of other weird and whimsical, somewhat dangerous food creatures. food hybrid creatures running around, and they're causing mischief towards the civilians, causing fear, causing doubt. And it's up to Flint himself to find a way to shut down his food processing device so that the civilians can try to clean this shit up and return to their humble, peaceful ways of processing sardines again. Flint is once again joined by his girlfriend Sam, played by Anna Faris, Officer Earl, who's now voiced by Terry Crews Manny, voiced by Benjamin Bratt. We have Chicken Brent, voiced by Andy Samberg, and his father Tim, voiced by James Caan, to put a stop to this machine's madness. Flint's focus, however, is to make a lasting impression on Chester that oftentimes takes over his concentrating by planting a USB device to shut down his machine. It's not going to be easy, but that's what just keeps the narrative going. And for that deserves another bite. Seeing that burger with the fries come to life is just a meal of appetizers. Replacing Phil Lord and Chris Miller is a duo of directors. This time now, Cody Cameron and Chris Pearn have succeeded this position, and they succeed well in keeping the cartoonish elements that worked successfully from the first movie, so hats off to them. Or another taste of fries to them. That's a kind of flavor. From the raw energy that worked effectively from the first movie to creating a Disney-themed, character-driven narrative that's pure in escapism, where surrealism is the king, and the animators are having more fun than labor in creating this newly created monsters that will surely either scare you to death or make you hungry, whichever comes first. And obviously, it made me hungry. They also were up to the challenge of creating new dangers and new adventures for Flint and his allies, refraining from repeating the same story from the previous installment. I'm glad that they didn't regurgitate everything from the first story and just recreate it all over again. Because then it wouldn't be a sequel, it would be just a fucking reboot. Yeah. They're also up to the challenge, and yeah. The only weakness to the sequel is that there's really not much to be surprised about. All the surprising elements came from the first movie. Pretty much we're just picking up from where Flint and his allies have left off. With Swallow Falls being taken over by food animal hybrids, we as the audience don't really know how to react when seeing these creatures, because we don't know if they're dangerous or just a ragtag bunch of misunderstood misfits with a physical and psychological unpredictability. We don't know what they're capable of. We don't know whether we should run from them or bite into them. Like I will bite in to the remains of this burger. One of the more better interactions of the hybrid is when Tim seems to be on friendly terms with mutated Pickles, adopting himself as a father as he teaches them how to fish. But there are more dangerous villainy food creatures, like a crocodile taco and a cheeseburger spider with french fries for legs, who seems to be transferred under Chester's persuasions. But we can't get enough of that cute, adorable strawberry, anthropomorphic strawberry with eyes, who is referred to as Barry, who's quite harmless and just wants to be friends with Flint, and he's just so cute. You just want to bring him home and adopt him as a pet. Whatever you do, just don't say the word jam. He's very sensitive. That's how he lost his mother. She was made into a jam. The creatures were invented into the story make up for the murky script surrounding Chester V and his real evil intentions. Whenever these critters come on the screen, there is never a dull moment. But however, though the villain character, he doesn't come across as being that intimidating, nor really that malice-inducing. He's pretty much just some character just in there for the moment. While the movie is an endless barrage of whimsical wordplay, especially when it comes to deciding what to name each of these food-themed monsters, the details put on display is met with great dedication to the craft at Sony Pictures Animation and truly deserve our praise to circle around original storytelling to the otherwise repeated atmosphere. It's just a shame that not enough heart was really put into the story. Not like the first one. The heart was there, but not as much. The only subplot that had some heart was Tim, who wanted to spend quality time with his son, even if it means bringing him back to the basics, encouraging him to, take over his job, working at packing sardines at his store, things like that. And he pretty much had to adopt the pickles to fill in the void. Chester V and his evil schemes were interesting to watch, but felt very rushed with no time to savor the moments, making his character seem pretty much underdeveloped. The sequel does stand out as our heroes are dealt with another adventure, this time dealing with the wildlife that has manifested in their humble little island town. The sequel may be inferior to the first movie, but there is something you can enjoy with friends and family of all ages. And I truly highly recommend people to come and see this movie. If you ever get a chance to. And remember, science is awesome. And while, sir, I think the lessons that is to be learned in this movie is that sometimes a little too much of a good thing may not always work out well in the end. Sometimes you just gotta take things minimally. And I think this is a lesson that Flint Lockwood had to learn. Some things may look good on paper, but in the end, sometimes you just have to go back on the old drawing board and just accept the trueness of life for what it is. So when all is said and done, if I was to give this movie a score out of 10, I, Flint Lockwood, gave Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 from 2013 a 7 out of 10. So I guess this ends my writer review. Thank you all for listening in. If you wish to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please feel free to do so. If you wish to leave a comment, go right ahead. But just remember the 3 simple rules. Be kind, be courteous, please refrain from rude comments. And even though I might be indulging in fast food, keep it minimal. Okay? It's okay to have it once in a while, just not all the time. Otherwise, what is once a treat will become an obsession. So until next time, this is Eric Correct Writer saying, keep watching those movies, and I'll see you around. Goodbye.